Hello everyone, welcome back to the fourth installment of UV texture mapping in Maya. We are currently having the two arms and the torso mapped out. This time we're going to map out the legs and maybe see if we have time to start mapping out the head. The head is going to be kind of a big project, so that one's going to probably get broken up into two pieces. But right now we're going to start with the leg. I'll do one side, and then again, just like before, I'll let you guys do the second side yourself, and I'll work through and do the other side before moving on to the head, or maybe after I finish this video. We'll see. Anyways, so first thing we gotta do is go ahead and take care of a leg. So we gotta map out the leg. We already have it mapped out over here, but we're just gonna go ahead and remap it out. So we have just the parts we want, which actually we'll go ahead and do about that much. Sure. That was good. And we'll just control marquee box around the torso that we already have mapped out, so we'll take off the parts we don't want. And we'll go to create UVs, automatic mapping. And we'll go to right click UV and we'll select in quadrant 1 all these UVs that we just mapped and drag them out, and we'll get started. Okay. So, personally, I feel like the best place to put a seam is right in the middle of the inner leg. It's one of the places you usually see the least of. So I'm going to go ahead and find the edge of the middle leg and put a cut right there. I think that probably right up here will probably do the job. Yep, that looks pretty good. So I'll go over here and I will cut it. Make sure that worked. We'll pull this apart. Looks like it worked just fine. I'm going to take the foot off for now, and I'll add it in after I get the leg worked out. That way I don't have any problems when I'm stitching the leg together. I'll just turn the leg into essentially a tube. Oh. To shell. Okay. Move that over there. We'll take our leg that we starting with and move it over here. See what we're working with over here. Okay. So now we're going to select all the edges on this side and see what happens when we stitch it. See what jumps on over. Brought our piece over to this other leg over here. And that looks fairly decent. Let's go ahead and do an unfold on it and see what happens. Yeah, that's probably a little better. Looks a little bit more evenly distributed. Okay, let's keep on going around. Edge. Select all these guys over here and these guys down here. And it looks down here like the foot's still connected on this side over here. So let's go ahead and remove this real quick before we stitch that all the way over. Since we're missing one side, it probably wouldn't have been too big of a problem, but we'll just stay consistent on our methodology here. Okay, so let's go ahead and stitch that piece over. Okay, and let's take a look at it. Those UVs are a little warped, so let's go ahead and fold those. That looks a lot better. Perfect. Okay, let's keep on working. And we'll go ahead and stitch this side over here, see what jumps on over. Great. Again, we have some warpage on the back, so we'll have to unfold those UVs as well. So we'll select the little chunk that we just stitched and unfold. That looks a lot better. Okay. Get back to our edge. Okay. Got a little piece over here highlighted. Don't want that. Do want this piece right here, though. Come on, guy. There we go. No. Okay, I guess I don't want that piece. Alright, let's just see what jumps over. Oh. Let's say it hopped on over to the torso. Don't want that. To unselect the torso. Okay. There we go. Alright, so that almost takes care of the leg. We're getting pretty close, guys. We'll unfold this part here. Okay. And we got a couple little guys in here that need some attention. Finish these guys up. If you press the G key, it just repeats the last command. If I haven't said that before, that's a useful tool, so you have to keep hitting the stitch tool. Just hit G every time if you're going along stitching little things like that back together. Okay, let's see about this guy. What does that go to? Looks like he jumped back up to the torso, I think. Yep. Okay, so we don't need that chunk. Maybe we should address the feet now. Sure, feet sound good. How about over here? Try to stay away from... Yeah, that's not going to be an option, I don't think. I was kind of hoping I might be able to put the feet one on each side, but I think the way that the foot's cut, that's not really going to be an option for us. Like this little piece here actually goes on top of the foot, so let's cut that piece off and let it go where it wants to. See how the foot's looking for UVs. That's looking okay. Let's go ahead and unfold that and see if that evens it out a little bit. Sure. Yep. Okay, what else we got? Let's go over to the other side of the foot. We just cut it from. Let's see about, oh, yep, just like I thought. Let's see if there's anything inside here that I can pull in. Yep, there we go. It's the rest of the foot. Let's go ahead and unfold that little section there, see if that untangles that mess. Yeah, it did a pretty good job of untangling it for us. I can work that out. It's like that edge, you see there's both of them selected, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. G to repeat, G to repeat, G to repeat, and we're pretty much done. Let's go ahead and fold that little section there. That looks decent. Okay. Let's see what else we got for pieces. Okay, I imagine that's probably the bottom of the foot. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the bottom of the foot. Okay. And I know some of you may be looking at and shaking your heads at. I didn't model this, but if I did, I know that this would also be a problem because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 edges on this polygon, which makes it some kind of bad n-gon. You want to keep your stuff in quads, I know. I didn't model this, so please don't shake your heads at me. I'm just working with it. So anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and bring that piece in up top here. Okay, sure. Okay. Unfold UVs. Okay, let's see what else we got. Might attach to this. Okay, highlight the other side over here, which means we're pretty much done. So let's check up top, see if there's any pieces that we missed. So there's a few little guys here. See what they hop to. Some of them go to the front of the foot. Most of them go to the front of the foot. We got this one guy right here that says that it's got a buddy that it wants. Let's see if it has any more. Yeah. Okay. Just keep running with it for a minute. This looks like it goes mostly to the crotch area. Let's take a look. You have to do a little investigation sometimes of these UVs, trying to figure out what goes to what. But okay, well that's fine, I think. Let's go ahead and see if unfolding it solves our problem with the overlap. Well, not quite, but we can go ahead and just select these two here, grow the selection, and then we'll rotate them so that they're not overlapping. It's a little bit quick and dirty, and you know, not one of the preferred methods when it comes to laying out UVs, but do sometimes what you have to do. If you're doing texturing inside of programs such as Mudbox or ZBrush, it's not going to really matter how if your UVs are slightly uneven. If you're doing stuff inside of Photoshop, that becomes a little more important that your UVs aren't uneven. But right now we're just going to keep going. So the toe is the last piece. By the way, I do a lot of my texturing inside Mudbox. It's really the boss when it comes to painting and texturing. If you're more comfortable with ZBrush, ZBrush is also a great application. Okay, so that pretty much does it for the leg. We're done with the leg. I'm going to go ahead and start doing the head, but I got about 5 minutes or so left, and then I'm going to have to take a break, and then we'll continue on with the head in the next lesson. But let's shrink this down just a little bit, and we'll bring the leg over here. Put it right there. And you may also be asking yourself, like, why don't I attach this to the torso or in the legs to the torso? And you totally can. You totally can attach the legs and the arms to the torso. The idea, though, is putting a cut in seams in here so that you can use up as much texture space as you can in this quadrant for your map. If you have them attached to the legs and the arms, it makes to where your UVs is not as space efficient and makes to where that you can't get as much texture in there. So by doing this, it makes to where you can maximize the detail in your model. So anyways, moving on. Looking at the head, there's a lot going on that you may not realize. You might just look at it and be like, it's kind of a cylinder and it should be simple to do. And it's really not too terribly complicated, but then you got the ears, you got the nose, the lips, and the eyes, and like sometimes there's stuff that's going on inside the nose, and problem solving all those UVs can become a problem. So I like to take it apart just like everything else and do it one piece at a time. So first thing I'm going to do is just take the bulk of the head and leave the face for last, and maybe the ears. We'll see. Let's go ahead and just grab the bulk of the head. Yeah. Maybe the neck too. Doing the tedious task of making sure I'm clicking on everything. Alright. I'm not really too happy with my selection there. It's pretty inconsistent. I'm going to try coming from the top here and see if I can get a better selection going on. Bear with me, guys. I actually like that a lot better. Okay, that comes up right behind the ears, leaving most of the detail for later. Cool. Alright, so I'll go to Create UVs, Automatic Mapping, UVs, and let's go ahead and drag this guy out. Okay. Now, anyone who's done UV mapping before is probably going to go through this and be like, what are you doing by mapping the back first? Because typically you want to pull like a Halloween mask, you want to make your seam in the back, going up the back of the skull. And I'm going to do that, but I'm just going to make sure that everything is played out first in the back, and then I'll run a seam along it, and then I will cut it and attach it to the front as I model that. So it'll be just like every other project I do, which is just breaking up into little puzzles, and once I get them put together, if I need to break it apart to fit into a different piece, I will. So I'm just going through, and this is obviously the seam that goes down the back of the skull. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're working with here. That edge is, like I said, the seam that goes down the back of the skull. Later, that's going to be the seam I'm going to cut, but for right now, it's going to stay where it's at. Let's see what else we got here for pieces. We got this guy here, and that goes right to the back of the skull. Okay, great. Let's see what happens when we stitch that. Nope, we got some stuff going on over here. I have to unselect that. It takes a little bit of experimentation sometimes. Just don't be afraid to stitch something and be like, oh, that jumps way up there. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so probably just deselect something up there and see if that works. Well, looks like we're getting closer. Let's unfold this little chunk here and see what happens. Kind of got crazy to unfold there. That was a little erratic. Let's try that one. That's a little better. Let's go ahead and just do a group stitch here and see if we get some stuff that jumps in and fills in these holes. Oh, nope, don't want whatever that was that just jumped in there. I don't know what this chunk is here, but I don't like it, so I got to back out a little bit. No biggie. I think it just sucked in something that I didn't want it to. Okay. Let's just unfold these here and see what happens. Hope you're seeing what I'm talking about, how sometimes the head is a little bit of a nasty animal. Okay, well, it's not highlighting any of these pieces over here, which is a little disconcerting. I'll just go ahead and leave that alone for the moment. Okay, we'll just jump up here, get in on this, figure that other piece out in a little bit. It's okay to move past things if it's a problem you can't solve immediately. Just don't forget about it. Sometimes when it's like solving a puzzle is you solve one piece, it helps you solve another piece. It's grabbing pieces that are up here, and that's not what I'm after. That's better. Let's go ahead and fold this little area here. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Like, jump into place here. So we got one piece that goes in here. Let's go ahead and stitch that in. Cool. How about these whole little guys here should just come down here. Come on. There we go. Let's scale them up a little bit so we see what we're working with. Not in that direction. No, come on. There we go. Alright. Let's see what this guy goes to. He goes inside this little hole over here. Oh, it's too bad I just scaled him up, but no problem. We'll zip him in there. Unfold. And no problem. Okay. Next is this little piece. Goes in this little guy here. Now, the reason why I'm selecting over here instead of just stitching in is because I'm assuming that since this is the edge, that if I stitch it, it'll grab something I don't want to. So I'm just grabbing the part that I want to attach to. I'll pull that area. Okay. One more little guy here. Okay. Let's unfold that. Getting real close, guys. Alright, and this one. Okie dokie. Now, there's this whole section here where there wasn't any pieces. Because, as we look, there's no pieces left. We still got a gaping hole going on here. So, what's going on? Where are these edges? Well, I grab this edge here and I stitch it. I close that up. Oh yeah, look at that. How about over here? Oh, yeah, just keep on going. Apparently there wasn't any pieces that were supposed to go in there. And we're done. Okay, cool. And we have to do a couple little unfolds, make this the UVs back here a little bit more even. They'll look a little warped in spots. So let's go ahead and fold those. Okay, and let's do another little unfold over here. Sure, and right here. Okay, this is the neck area. Okay. I think that we're going to go ahead and stitch all these pieces together and do another little unfold right there. Okay. And like this piece actually goes in over there. Okay. Problem solved. Know what you're thinking. Why don't we do these ones as well? Sure, let's do them as well. Alright, that's looking pretty decent. See if there's anything else that jumps into play over here. Go ahead and grab some of these edges. Oh yeah, look at that. Looking good. Alright, go ahead and stitch those guys in. Now I'm stitching all these in, and I know I'm going to have to cut them later. So later on you're like, why did you stitch those in just to break it later? Well, sometimes you solve a small piece of the puzzle and realize that you have to take half that piece and put it on another piece of the puzzle. So that's the way I see it anyways. Okay, so this whole part of the head is, top part of the head, back part of the head is done, laid out. I'm going to shrink that down just a little bit. And typically, most people who do 3D models and animations will tell you that you want to have a large percentage of the map designated to the head so that the head can have a lot of detail. And that's the other reason why we're keeping this thing in pieces, so that the head can have this whole little chunk area over here where we're going to put it when it's done. But for now, we're going to shrink it down till it's all done and put together. This is where I'm going to actually take a break on the video. When I come back, I will already have the other leg done, so I suggest you guys also have the other leg done if you're following along. And next video we will tackle the face, and if we have time we'll also do the ears. But I imagine that the face will most likely take most of the other video. If it doesn't, then we'll try to wrap it up by taking out the ears as well. If not, then the ears will have to pop into one last video after the next one. So anyways, thanks again for you guys for listening, following along, and I will see you guys in the next video.